What's up, everyone? Welcome to This, That, and the Other, where we talk about Detroit and Michigan State sports. And for the first time, we actually have a guest on the program, formerly known as the Yakin Yumbo, here to discuss the Detroit Lions' loss to the Washington Redskins. And I don't know why I should call you for sure. I'll just call you Yumbo for sure. How's that?
That's all right.
What do you think about? What do you think about the new low for the Lions this year?
I'd say it's the most concerning I've ever seen the Lions in recent history. Since the days of 0-16, it feels like that. It feels like they will not win another game this season.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happening. Seems like that the Lions are smart, then that they will tank out the rest of these games. But it does bug me. I don't know if it bugs you, but just the idea of Patricia getting a free pass because Stafford's injured. That's what really bugs me.
Yeah, I think Patricia should be fired tomorrow.
I agree with you. I thought I've never been. I actually was kind of on board when they first hired him, but after last year, I was very skeptical. I was kind of waiting for him to fail. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was going to be happy if he was successful, so I wasn't rooting for him to fail. But I never got a good impression about this guy. I always felt like the Lions were trying to rebuild when they shouldn't have been trying to rebuild, and in my opinion, they should have tried to hire a former head coach.
Yeah. He's somebody that I think belongs in a soup kitchen.
I don't know. He might need a few hairnets and beard nets, though.
He's the worst head coach that I can think of since Rod Marinelli was the last bad head coach for us.
Yeah, who Patricia really reminds me of, honestly, is Jim Schwartz. I feel like, his kind of he's got a little bit of an anti-establishment attitude, and it just seems like he's just not quite even as good as what Jim Schwartz was. I just feel like he's trying to. And the defense, inexcusable. Worst defense in the league.
Yeah, he's a defensive head coach.
Yeah.
What did we bring him in here for?
Yeah, we brought him in, I guess, to see how good the offensive coordinator was doing, and I will give him I was going to say, I give him a little bit of credit for keeping his hands off the offense and letting them do their job, but at the same time, he's got to do his job too. Yeah.
Honestly, he should have just been the defensive coordinator, calling the plays.
And that, if that was
head coach.
Yeah. If that was the case, if he was the defensive coordinator, I don't know, maybe they'd be a little bit better. I think he's got this false sense of I have to run the whole team, when really he should be focusing on the areas that need fixing. But I think he's I think Paul Pasqualoni is their defensive coach, right? And he's, from what I've been hearing, he's just kind of this older guy who really doesn't belong in the NFL anymore.
He belongs on a commercial for Geritol.
Yeah. I'm actually not familiar with that, but I'll have to go look that up later. I'm sure it'll be funny. And where do the Lions even go from here?
Even if they lose out and get high draft pick, what does that do? It'd just be a waste of a pick because you got these idiots running the team.
Yeah, and what also makes you angry is look at all the draft picks they've spent on the defense and on the offensive line, and we just feel like we have to replace him again. Taylor Decker, I think, is not going to be here much longer. Seems like they're signing these free agents that aren't panning out, whatever it is. They can't, their timing is just all wrong. Bringing in Trey Flowers, having a horrible, just not getting any pressure. And, the offensive line bringing in TJ Lang when he was very close to retiring, and Rick Wagner, and there's been some tough luck for the Lions, but there's also there's been bad calls, and they've led in every game still so far. But this is just it's just a Molotov cocktail for the Lions right now. Like bad breaks, bad picks, bad coaching, injuries, and
And I think not only Patricia needs to be fired, but Quinn needs to follow suit.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't even be upset if they both got tarred and feathered out of Detroit.
That's why I love having a second person on shows, because we get to have like little stuff like that. Whereas I'll sound weird if I say that by myself, but
And Driscoll was terrible. He was just, he threw 3 picks in like a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to come down on Driscoll too hard. That last drive was really bad, but for what he is, I guess that's an old overused line. Because I actually think he has. I called him before this game. I called him a poor man's Russell Wilson, but I think that he's a guy that nobody knew going in. I think they should give David Blau a chance, because I actually I got to see him play a little bit at Purdue, and I thought he looked decent, but. At this point, just, they should probably just look into getting other players some playing time, and,
it's like, I don't even know, like, what kind of coach could even fill the void right now? Like, I don't know who would be up for grabs,
Yeah.
You don't want, like, Jay Gruden or somebody that was fired,
One person I was mentioning before, before we did this together was Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I didn't think he got treated right. Like, he really should have been on our team as a head coach, because he took a team to the Super Bowl and several playoff wins.
Some coaches just need to change the culture.
Exactly.
Too.
They need a new team sometimes, just like players do too.
Yeah. One thing we were talking about before we did this podcast was Jim Caldwell, and were we too quick to run him out of town?
Yeah, we definitely were. And, I was on the bandwagon too. So, I mean, I'm one of those fans that was unimpressed with 9-7, but
I still don't think it was the wrong move to fire him. It just, why? It may sound like a dumb question, but why do you hire someone who hasn't been a head coach for a team that is supposed to win now? Yeah. I feel like offense or defense coordinator should only be hired on teams that are strictly rebuilding.
Yeah.
So, that's where I think, I don't know if we talked about this already, but, I just feel like he's going to get a pass because Stafford's injured. And, so many the Lions are just an organization that they just have their head in the sand. I feel like they don't want to, they don't make the decision until it's too late, I could actually make similar comment with Michigan State, I feel like they're going to be in trouble for a while. I feel like Mark D'Antonio's kind of forgotten how to coach, and I feel like they're going to wait until things are really bad before they move on. Yeah. And I feel like the Lions are, doing the same thing. But
and that begs the question, like, we get rid of this head coach. I mean, we can't keep Stafford on another. I mean, got to be a record for.
Oh I agree. Yeah, I mean that's
starting
crazy.
QB's had that many head coaches. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, and every coach has this thing, where you want to say, like, you're not 100% sure if they should fire him because of this reason or that reason, or I've heard people say, like, well, if the Lions hire a new head coach, they're not going to be winning right away anyway. So, I don't. Stafford is getting up there in years, and they need to get a plug. They need to get a plug in, a guy who can plug in, get them winning right now. Like, as much as I hate to say it, someone like Jim Harbaugh. I mean, or maybe Urban Meyer. That'd be nice. I heard he was rumored to be interested in the Cowboys job actually. Yeah. But, just they, it's just amazing. Like, teams like some teams are just like, so you get the right coach in there, everything's fixed like that. Yeah. And the Lions, it's just such a laboring process. Yeah. It's like you get a new coach, just comes in with a new, new disappointments, and I don't know how the Rams can go from being a 2-win team to a few seasons later being in the Super Bowl, but the Lions are always hanging around in their mediocrity.
Yeah.
So
they're like an NFL purgatory.
Yeah.
You just can't escape it.
So we got Thanksgiving coming up against the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears beat the Giants today, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And see, this is my thing. I don't see the Lions winning our game this season.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know who I think they got the Broncos left.
I say the Broncos beat them for sure.
Yeah, the Broncos I think they're starting to figure things out a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see, they have, I don't know, it's escaping me right now. They still got the Buccaneers, and I think they'll torch them. You know, I don't see how you could pick them to win any of their other divisional games. So, it'll be. It's just like, so we actually kind of watched this game like for comedy reasons today. Almost, it's just like, you know.
And I thought they were going to win for sure.
Yeah. I didn't, and neither one of us were disappointed at all when they lost. But you know.
But I'm definitely on board with fire Patricia. Like, no shadow of a doubt. He needs to be fired. And I really hope he's fired tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. I know that the Lions just aren't proactive, you know. They're not like get this guy out of here to, you know. I used to be a person who said like everyone needs to get enough time to do what they need to do, but lately my philosophy is first sign that it's not working, get rid of them. Yeah. You know.
I mean, I want to go as far as saying like I want to see the post conference, and I want to see Patricia asked if he was going to get fired, and then him saying like, "No, I feel pretty secure," and then
and then Bob Quinn just comes in and says, "Oh, I just got fired. Bad news."
Yeah. And then Matt Patricia just has to explain his new
Well, if the Lions are going to be
perspective on security after that.
I mean, if the Lions are going to be bad, they should at least make it funny. They should tar and feather their coach. I agree with you. They should.
I'm just kidding about it. I mean, that would be a criminal act, I think.
Is it really? I didn't know.
I'd imagine, because I mean, who would want to be tar and feathered? So they're doing that, and they're like, "No, stop!"
Right.
I mean,
it
would have to be.
I always like people who make jokes like, "Oh, they should leave them in Washington D.C." or you know, like
They should put him in one of those big circus cannons and just send him to Timbuktu or some place like that, and just see him go, "Wah!" and just see a twinkle, like a cartoon.
So, Yumbo, what do you think? I mean, where if it was up to you, Lions make you the general manager, where do they go from here? I mean,
okay, you fired the head coach, you put an actual head coach in there, like you've been saying. I agree with that. I don't know who. I guess try to lure, Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh.
I would like to see them go the college coach route. I really would.
Or McCarthy. Yeah. Or even,
TJ Fleck.
That's not going to happen though, because he just signed a deal.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
I don't know that when the NFL comes calling, you can get out of any deal. Yeah. Really.
You know what? I just expect the Lions to be, when that happens. So expect the Lions to be shit for like 2 years at least.
Yeah.
But like, as long as they're making improvements each year with the new head coach, that's fine.
And what do you do with Stafford?
You trade him, you play him till his contract's up, or you trade him for some high pick, because I think you could get a first round pick and maybe another late round pick for him. And it's not his fault. He's a great quarterback. This is not the team that he's going to be good with, because he's been good with this team, but well,
it's not getting
it's too late. I feel like with him to take this team.
I believe that we're almost out of time here, but I believe that there are so few good quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's still kind of like a roulette wheel when you draft a quarterback. So I still feel I still feel like they should stick with Stafford. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I just think Yumbo has more of a win for the future mentality. I have more of a win now mentality.
I feel like they can't win now at this point.
Yeah, but that's that's all the time we got for today. Thanks for tuning in to This, That, and the Other.
Fire Patricia.
All right, Fire Patricia. We're all on board with that. So we'll talk to you guys next time.